Hey guys, it's Kelsey Ann. Thanks so much for joining me today. We're gonna go through a little slow hips and hamstrings yoga flow. So make sure to have a folded blanket nearby or a comfortable pillow to help prop you throughout this practice. So make sure to grab some water and I'll meet you on the mat. We'll begin in child's pose. Start on the mat on your knees. You can keep your knees close together or spread them wide and then walk the hands forward so that you fold over the thighs. Let the upper body relax, the forehead rest on the mat, and let the fingers be spread wide. As we start here in child's pose, allow your focus to go to the breath. Begin to lengthen in each inhale and control each exhale. Slow your body down, slow your mind down, slow your breath down. Exhale, allow the body to sink deeper into the mat, letting gravity be the only thing that pushes you. On your next inhale, slowly walk the hands back in towards the hips. Draw the knees together and sit upright on the heels. Inhale, sweep the arms, reach all the way up towards the sky. Place the palms together and interlace the fingers except for the pointer finger. You want to be pointing straight up to the ceiling. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the crown of the head all the way up through your fingertips. And exhale, gently bend over to the right side for a nice side body stretch here. Keep that consistent, slow, and controlled breathing. And on your next inhale, come back up to center. Release the hands, and then we'll interlace with the other finger forward. Again, inhale, reach all the way up through the fingertips. Exhale, gently reach over to the left side. And keep that right hip pressing down into the right heel for grounding. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, release the arms down to the sides. We'll come into a tabletop position. Place the hands on the mat, spread the fingers wide, and stack the wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, shift the gaze, cow pose. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, round through the spine and drop the head, cat pose. Continue moving through cat and cow. With each inhale, come to cow. Each exhale, press into cat. And let the movement of your breath guide you from one pose to the next. Allowing for slow and intentional movements. Complete one more round on your own breath. And then come to a neutral spine. Again, you'll spread those fingers wide on the mat. Inhale, tuck the toes. Exhale, send the hips up and back into downward facing dog. We We want a straight line from the wrists all the way up through the tailbone here. So if you need to bend into the knees and draw the heart towards the thighs, then you can straighten the legs. Inhale, step that right foot forward in between the hands and drop the left knee and tuck those back toes. Take a moment here, find that strength, press through all four corners of that front right foot as you press into the top of the back foot. Inhale, reach and rise. Let the hands drop down to the knee. If you have blocks, you can place them on either side of the front foot and rest with the hands for stability. You can place both hands on the knee, but I want you to come out of the pose, square the hips towards the top of the mat by bringing that left hip forward, and then sink back in and let the hips drop down and forward. Keep that left hip pressing forward. And we'll be here for just a little while. So draw the focus back to the breath. Lengthen the inhale. Control the exhale. And with each breath, send your attention to the tightness in the hip flexor. And see if you can consciously relax those muscles. When you feel that sense of tightness creeping back in, feel that panic creeping up your throat, pause, notice where your attention is, and then redirect it back to the breath, back to conscious relaxation. On your next exhale, we'll drop the hands down to the mat, shift the hips backward, and straighten into that front leg for a half split. Foot can be flexed or pressed flat against the mat. If you are having the foot on the mat, make sure that big toe is pressed firmly into the mat. Not only does this activate the leg, but it gives us a better stretch all the way from the heel up to the hip. Inhale, come up to a flat back. Exhale, release and round over that front leg. Again, you can have the blocks on either side of you here, just as a little height underneath the hands to help you better. With each exhale, allow gravity to gently press you a little further into this fold. Arms, and then we'll heel toe our front foot to the outer right edge of the mat. Bring that right hand on the inside of the foot, and then we'll bend into the front knee. If you've got tender knees, you can always pad underneath the left knee so that it's not quite as much pressure. And then here, in a lizard pose, we can either stay on straight arms, on blocks, or gently sink down to forearms. And again, guide the focus to the breath. Deep inhales, controlled exhales. Up to straight arms if you are down on the forearms, and then we'll heel toe that foot back in towards center. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, and step the right foot back to a downward dog. Pedal out your dog here, bending into one knee and then the next. Find stillness once more. This time we'll take the left knee, step it up, and plant that foot in between the hands. Release the right knee, untuck those back toes. Find your grounding here, again pressing through all four corners of that left foot, and then pressing down into the top of the right foot. Inhale, reach and rise. Back out of the pose, square the hips by pressing that right hip forward and then sink the hips down and forward. We want a slight pelvic tilt here, so we're drawing the pelvic bone up to the belly button into the spine, so we really target that hip flexor area. Relax the hands down to the knee or the blocks on either side of the front foot and find your breath again. You might notice that one side of your body is a little more or less flexible than the other. For me, it's my right side that tends to be very tight, and that's okay. It's just fine because we are perfectly imperfect. Again, notice when the mind begins to wander, when you feel the intensity of the stretch, praying that it's over soon. Pause. Notice any tightness. Consciously relax and guide the focus back to the breath. On your next exhale, plant the hands on the mat on either side of that front foot. Shift the hips back and straighten into the left leg. Again, foot can be flexed or pressed down into the mat. If we are pressing into the mat, to avoid letting it flay out, we want to press that big toe firmly into the mat. Inhale, come up to a flat back. Exhale, release and round. Again, one side might be tighter than the other, and that's okay. Don't try and press yourself further than where you need to be. Find the appropriate amount of stretch, and then focus on breathing and focus on relaxing with that stretch. Inhale, come up to long arms. Heel toe that foot to the outer left side of the mat. Bring that left foot on the inside and bend into the left knee. Coming into lizard pose on the other side. Again, we can stay up on straight arms here, or if it's in your practice or level of flexibility, you can come down onto the forearms. Find the breath, find your focus. If it's wandered away, guide it back to the breath. Down on your forearms, walk yourself back up to upright, then we'll heel toe that foot back to center, placing the left hand on the outer edge. Tuck those right toes, lift that right knee, and step the left foot back to downward dog. Pedal out your dog here, bending into one knee and then the next. Then find stillness, bend into the knees, let them descend to the mat so that you can come to a comfortable seat. We'll turn towards the long side of the mat. If you have a blanket or a bolster, you can place it behind you so that you can come up and sit just on the edge. If you have a blanket, make sure you are sitting on the clean folded edge. If you have a pillow or a bolster, make sure that you are comfortably seated closer to the edge, because we do just need a little bit of height in order to fold over. You'll take the heels, place them wide towards the outer corners of the mat. Flex the feet, draw the toes into the face. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, hinge, fold, and reach forward. When you feel the appropriate amount of stretch, pause. Reach through those fingertips just a little bit more. And then exhale, place them down on the floor and then around into the spine. Keep those feet flexed here and let the upper body relax. Find that deep breathing, and with each exhale, let gravity gently press you further into the fold. Inhale, walk those hands back in towards the hips, coming to upright. Lean back a little bit and bend into the knees to bring the soles of the feet together. We want the heels a little bit further away from the hips, so we have about a 90-degree bend in the knees. We'll relax the knees outward. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale, hinge and reach forward. When you find that right amount of stretch, pause. Reach through the fingertips a little bit more. Exhale, plant the hands and round. Find the deep breathing here. And with each exhale, give into gravity and sink slightly deeper into the pose. Inhale, walk those hands back in towards the hips. We'll turn so our legs are extended long on the mat in front of us. Flex those feet, draw the toes back towards the face. Sit up straight, inhale and reach. Exhale, hinge forward. Find that right amount of stretch. Pause, reach a little bit more. Exhale, plant the hands and round. We want our legs to be active here, but every muscle in the upper body relaxed. Find the breath and give into gravity. Inhale, walk those hands back in towards the hips. Come off of your height if you were using height. We'll keep the legs long in front of us. Bend into the right knee, place it on the outer left thigh. Inhale, reach into the left arm. Exhale, bring that elbow across the body and hook it over the right knee. We'll sweep that right hand back behind the low back on the mat and twist open towards the right side of the mat. Lift the chest, lift the top of the head, and relax the gaze over the right shoulder. Release, unwind, and straighten into the legs. Shake it out just a little bit. And then draw that left knee in. Place the right foot on the outer side of the right thigh. Inhale, reach the right arm up. Exhale, bring that elbow across the body and hook it over the left knee. Sweep that left hand back behind the low back on the mat. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the crown of the head. Exhale, twist to the left side and relax the gaze over the left shoulder. Find that deep and controlled breathing. Release and unwind, straighten into the legs once more. Give it one last shake out, and then find a comfortable seat on the mat. Legs can be extended long or crossed. Rest the hands on the knees or thighs and close the eyes. Reconnect with that deep and controlled breathing and feel the stillness coming back. Remember that anytime you're going throughout your day, anytime things get busy or extremely stressful, we can always focus on the breath. Even if it is for just 4 short breaths, that's just a moment where we can find stillness. Bring the hands together in front of the heart. And on your next exhale, open the eyes. Thank you so much for practicing with me, you guys. I hope that you are feeling relieved and nice and open in your hips and your hamstrings. Make sure to tune in next time for another awesome yoga flow with yours truly, Kelsey Ann. Again, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time on the mats. Namaste.